This week on The Wise Guys.
Self, you will tend to not chase happiness through the material things that other people have. You know, it's like, oh man, Kev looks real happy in that Benz, man. I wonder if I get one, I might be happier.
That's a fact.
And you just start chasing these things because, you know, once you get that big house, you get that big car, if you're depressed, you're going to be depressed in a big house and a big car.
Real,
you know what I'm saying? It's
that's
just
real.
like, it doesn't change anything. So everybody wants to be rich and they think that will solve all your problems. But the key is, money only solves money problems.
It's true.
After money problems, you got to deal with yourself.
It's true.
And, you know, you see a lot of actresses, you know, NBA players, you know, whatever, people with money,
Right.
with issues. They're upset, they're depressed, they're doing drugs because the money is not solving their problems. Man.
Yeah. No, it's a fact.
Yeah.
It's a fact. We talked about this.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mark Pruden, and you're now tuning in to the Wise Guys podcast, brought to you by Flowered Concrete.
Yo. What's going on? What's going on? This is your boy, Kevin Unglad.
And this is Mark Pruden.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with another episode of the Wise Guys podcast.
That's right.
Mark, my brother, how you doing, man? It's been a few weeks since I've last seen you.
Yeah, it's been a little while, man. Everything is great, man. You know, just weathering the storm with this pandemic. Business is starting to pick up a bit, so, you know, God is great, man. How about you? How's
Man,
everything
I
been?
hear that, brother. I'm doing well. I mean, it's we're about a week or so into fall. You know,
Right.
we're into fall right now, but it's weird. Like it was freezing last week, and then now it's hot, and I'm sweating, and I'm very uncomfortable.
It's crazy, man. You don't know what to wear these days.
Yeah, man.
Whether it surprise you.
Yeah, you don't know what to wear, man. But hey, I guess gotta take what we have, you know.
Yeah, definitely, man.
2020 has served us a lot of surprises.
Yep, it's a blessing to be healthy, man. So we keep pushing.
You're absolutely right, man. Yeah, man, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. So much stuff. So if you don't mind me asking you, well, first and foremost, episode 37, the art of peer pressure.
Right.
So we're talking about peer pressure today. First thing I wanted to ask you, what is peer pressure, and how does it affect our society at large? What do you think? What is peer pressure, and how does it affect society at large?
Wow. So, I'd say peer pressure is when, you know, the people around you, the people in your environment are pushing you to do things that you normally wouldn't want to do.
Right.
So, yeah, it's interesting. It can be direct or indirect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
That's how I see it. What is your view on it?
Great question. I think often we categorize peer pressure as like, oh my gosh, Billy's with Jared, Mike, and Todd, and they're smoking marijuana, and so now he wants to smoke marijuana.
Right.
I don't think it's always that. I think peer pressure could be anything. Yeah, I mean, you could be peer pressured as an adult.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this even last time in the whole. I think it was episode 34. Actually, can't get enough addictions. Where I talked about how, like, you know, my dad was drinking alcohol, but he had to stop drinking because if he didn't, you know, he was essentially going to die. You know?
Right.
And it's unfortunate that he met that demise, but he would go to parties after he told it. He's like, oh yeah, man, I'm done, I'm not drinking anymore. Oh yeah, I'm done, I'm not drinking anymore. But after the 5th, 6th party, you're gonna drink.
Right.
You know, you're gonna indulge in that juice, as they say.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if everyone else is doing it, of course I'm gonna do it. So peer pressure can even happen to adults.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know?
I mean, you can be peer pressured into your respective party when it comes to Democrat or Republican.
That's a fact.
You know, it's hard to. I mean, sure, you know, our president is a questionable guy, but
Right.
you know, if you step into, you know, your family unit and you start speaking like a Republican or that you want to support Trump in any way, you will need some backlash.
That's
Just
a fact.
as if you were in a Republican household and you started speaking about, you know, voting Democrat. So it's interesting, man. There's so many little things in there that we pressure each other to do.
No, I agree 100%. 100%. Wow, man. Yeah, no, this is a lot. Can peer pressure ever go away?
No, I'd say no. As long as we have societal differences between each other, there'll always be peer pressure. You can be peer pressured into putting your child in private school.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Because all your friends are doing it, and you know they're making you feel like a bad person for having your kid in public school. So I feel like we're always going to do that to each other.
It's true.
because there's always going to be wherever there's differences. I think there's room for peer pressure.
I was peer pressured. I was peer pressured into going into a college I could not afford.
Right.
Straight out of high school, I went to Long Island University in Long Island, the Brookville campus, and I knew damn well I could not afford that. But
Right.
you know, a lot of my friends, like the I don't want to call them geniuses, but you know, they're very aptly well put together people. They're very smart people. They were going to, you know, all like the big time schools, state
Right.
schools, you know, as well as schools out of state, whatever, whatnot. And I remember just getting my acceptance letters to like Queensboro and like New York City College, and like I think there was another school too. I don't know if it was Kingsborough. So, I got an acceptance letter to one school I even applied to. I was like, what the hell? I was like, I didn't even apply to you. Like, how could you accept me?
You've been drafted.
I've been drafted. You know what I'm saying? So I felt pressured into going to one of these big time illustrious schools, and it was a big school. It was a D2 school, actually, a Division II school, because I didn't want to seem like a loser. I didn't want to seem like someone who was a failure amongst his peers or friends per se. You know.
It's true, man. I mean, I felt the same way just going to a community college for a few semesters. I felt like I was in high school again.
Yeah.
You know, when someone asks, hey, what are you doing? Where's college you going to? You know, you regretfully say a community college.
It's true.
I was actually saying Queens College just because it was a tiny bit
better. That's a
Again, like
fact.
Queens College. Yeah, Queensboro, you know, I don't know.
No, that's a fact. It's so funny that you say that because that's where we essentially met at
Yeah,
Queensboro. So it's so
exactly.
funny how, I mean, hey, I guess there's a purpose in everything. You know,
Yeah.
you pick up some things along the way. You meet some people who are blessed into your life, or vice versa. You know,
Right. It's
so
true.
it's actually great how that worked out. But yeah, I think I even talked about this on the podcast way back in episode 9. It was Too Cool for School when we had
Right.
Cash Sinatra, and I was talking about my time at Queensboro, or like not even just my time at Queensboro, how when I transferred there, I saw people on the bus. I was like, oh my God, man, like, are you serious?
Right,
I
right.
was like, the people I went to school with, here they are again, you know?
Yeah.
It-
You
yeah.
want a fresh start.
Yeah. You want a fresh start.
It was not a fresh start.
It was not a fresh start, man.
I went to orientation, brother, and I found at least 50 people from my high school. I said, I'm back. And then we're like, okay, yo, when we meeting up? And I didn't realize what I was doing. We were just creating the same thing we had in high school,
Right.
just in a different
Environment. You went to law enforcement, right?
Yeah, I went to law
I
enforcement.
went to Martin Van Buren, so when I got to Queensboro, I was like, shit, this is Martin Van Buren Part 2. And I always heard a lot of students,
Yeah.
a lot of peers say, oh, you go to Queensboro? Yeah, I didn't go to that school. I'm like, why? Why would I want to see any niggas from men again? I'm
It's
like,
true.
You're absolutely right.
But you know what? All the biases aside, Queensboro is a beautiful campus. Man. It's just, we just put that stigma on it because it's a community college, and I guess, you know, whatever. But they have a lot of resources, man. Their
It's true.
track and field,
Oh, yeah.
their buildings are wonderful, man.
Beautiful
So
landscape, beautiful, architecture, infrastructure, the whole nine.
it really is a campus.
It really is a campus.
It's beautiful.
But you know what's so funny though? I knew people who, I mean, you think about the traditional college setting. You think about students, you know, when you watch the movies and stuff like that, or like the advertising, the marketing's on the side of the bus. You
Right.
think about the students like laying down on the quad on the lawn, reading a book, you know,
Right,
relaxing as if like, you know, they're out on a picnic or whatnot. Go to Queensboro. You won't see none of that there.
Right.
People
right.
just want to get in and get the hell out.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember my a good friend of mine's. I told you about him. My boy Chad. You remember my boy Chad was like, once I graduate, and he did. Once he graduated from there, he's like, I'm never freaking going back there again. He's like, a lot of people just couldn't wait to get the hell out of there. They're like, I don't want no memories from here. I don't want to go to the graduation. I don't want to walk out.
That's a shame, man, because it really is a beautiful school.
Yeah, it is,
I mean,
man.
Sure, there's a few, you know, people there that don't want to be there, but it's not as bad as we see it. We're not proud to
Yeah.
be there. So
100%.
maybe that's it.
But you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because your parents. Think about your parents. Your parents are essentially competing with each other. They're friends, they're brothers, their
Oh,
sisters,
yeah.
their cousins. Oh yeah, well, yeah, Mark goes here and he's doing this, he's doing that. It's just like, damn it, that Mark. Sheesh, I gotta
Yeah.
get one up on my nephew.
That's-
You gotta be better than Mark.
That's a fact. It's a competition.
Yeah, it is. It's so unhealthy.
Yeah. It's like, oh wait, this person's in private school. I need to get my kids in private school just to be ahead of the game or to be in the same group as them. It's very interesting how we compete instead of working together.
It's true. I feel as if peer pressure can just be something that's. I feel as if peer pressure can be something that's grounded in casualness, right? And then it can also be grounded in unhealthy, toxic competition.
Yeah.
So I say that to say, like, even like when I say casualness, you're out with your friends, they're drinking, they're smoking.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
And then that's recreational. So what? So there we go. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Recreational peer pressure. Recreational, just chilling. No care in the world, just having a fun time. And then I look at it the other way, which is unhealthy, toxic competition. Oh, you think you got a nice boat? All right, I'm gonna buy a yacht.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, you think you got a nice house? I'm gonna get a glass house on the hills in Beverly Hills.
So, yeah,
Come to my house. That guy, he's not really trying to show you his house so that way you guys like can continue the friendship and just like enjoy the day. He wants you to feel the pain of just being there.
Yo, you're right. So there's the peer pressure for recreation, like something harmless like smoking, drinking, blah, blah, blah. And I shouldn't say that's harmless, but I'm saying it doesn't affect you economically.
Yes.
And then there's that peer pressure with lifestyle that you will go broke in the midst of this. Like, and then it's like, once we get these items, whether it's these possessions, these cars, trucks, boats, whatever, why do we try to get everyone to see it when we know it's going to make them feel bad?
It's true.
I had a friend last week. He was like, I had a friend who was he's like, yeah, man, I'm going to get back on my boat next week, man. We're going to go fishing. He's like, you should come sometime. Are you really inviting me for my company, or are you just inviting me to say, look at my boat?
Right. It's true. It's 100% true.
It's
100%
amazing,
true.
man.
It's amazing, bro.
Yeah, so if you ever have someone who's just an acquaintance and they're not your friend, and they invite you to their home or to their boat or to whatever, they're just trying to throw it in your face.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's a fact.
Because if you guys aren't that cool, I mean, what's the point of them inviting you? They're just trying to flex.
They are trying to flex. I had to cut some people off because I realized that everything we did together was a competition. Oh, you got a PlayStation 2? I'm going to get a PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
You got a PlayStation 3? I'm going to get a PS4. I don't care. I'm just living, I'm existing. I'm just living my life. Like, like, why do you have to be... I had a friend one time, I'm not going to mention his name on this podcast, but I had a friend one time, he was upset that I got my permit before him.
Yeah.
Literally, like, I remember he was saying, oh yeah, I'm going to, be driving, all this, that, and the third, whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool, man. I didn't say anything to him. I was just going about my business, getting things done. And I remember my dad came downstairs. We were in the basement one time. My dad came downstairs, and then he was like, guess what came in the mail? I was like, what's up? And then he showed me my permit. He gave it to me. I was like, oh my gosh, my permit. And then in that moment, I realized that I didn't tell my friend that I was actually pursuing my permit. And then when I saw his face just dropped, man. He seemed unrecognizable almost as if he would kill me in the back of an alley. And I realized, oh my gosh, like, shit, maybe I should have said something, or dang, if I knew that this was coming today, maybe I should have told my dad to just hold on to it and wait till he leaves. And I was just like, that's toxic, man. If you gotta hide something that you naturally earned and got, casually, and because you pursued it, because someone is in their feelings because they didn't get their license yet, or whatever the case may be, like, why would you feel some type of way? Obviously, this person's not good for you.
Right, it's true. And that happens a lot, man.
It does, man.
Competing and stuff like that.
It does.
Even between, in relationships with couples. There's people who, if a wife got a car, now the husband's like, man, I need one now. You know what I'm saying? Like, things can't be lopsided. Everything has to be equal. I think that word equal is kind of weird.
It's true.
Like, just because someone has something, you should have it too.
It's true.
It's weird, man.
It's true. I'm not going to lie, man. I mean, and sometimes our perspectives could be jaded too. Like, for example, right? Hypothetically, let's say it's me and you, right?
Right.
You're a woman. She's a business owner. She's an entrepreneur, right?
Right.
What kind of guy would I be if my woman, right? My woman, she's a teacher, right?
Right.
And I say to her, well, this is what Dree's doing. You need to boss up. Find something and let's make millions out of you. Let's make millions out of you.
Right,
because
right.
Come on, man. Like, Mark can't have that and I don't have that going on. I need to brag about you.
Right.
Why are we it's like, why are we thinking like that, man? It's tough.
But then again, I mean, as humans, we naturally compare. So whenever something happens with someone in your circle, you're going to automatically compare and say, why don't I have that? Or how can I get that?
It's true.
I mean, even if with something small, like, buying a house. Oh, it's like, oh, Kev just bought a house. Man, I'm thinking about getting me a house now. Why?
Yeah, why?
Why are you thinking about getting one now? Just because Kev's got it?
Right. Especially if you are not in the right financial position to buy one.
Yeah.
Right? For example, Sammy just installed a new security system at the house. I haven't been there yet, so when I get home tonight, apparently the alarm's going to go off. It's going to say, attention, warning, someone at the door. I don't know. I'm going to get the full experience when I get home later on. I haven't been home in about a month, but after she did that, our next door neighbor went and installed something a week later. It's just like, what the heck? Were you even thinking about this 2 and 3 weeks prior to this?
Nope.
Why?
They call it keeping up with the Joneses, man.
Keeping up with the Joneses is true.
Always watching your neighbor. What does he got? Okay, I'll get it now. Very strange, man.
It's strange.
I don't understand it, but like we said, we naturally compare as humans. So
it's true.
When we see someone has something and it looks cool, we've got to have it.
It's true. Before I move on to the final question of the day, I have a lot of family that resents me and Sammy because we're doing so well, and they probably wouldn't care or probably don't care, to be honest with you. They're living their lives. But when my aunt or my uncles are throwing at them, look what Kevin and Sammy are doing. What are you on? What's going on with you?
Right.
It's just like, I didn't ask for that,
And they're going to hate you.
And they do.
Yeah.
They very well. I told you about my cousin who's like, oh, since you think you're an Ivy League guy now, you're getting your PhD. Well, I was like, oh my God, like, dude, like, what happened?
It's for good reason, though. Because if you're being tormented by your parents saying, look at Kev, what am I? You're going to be like, yo, screw Kev, man.
Right.
And not because you did something, but because his parents have been throwing the name Kev in his face for years. I've had enough of Kev.
Right. It's true. It's true.
You've been tormenting me for 10 years about this guy. I can't be Kev. So
it's 100% true, man. It's a shame. It's a shame. And it leads me to my next question. How can we as people eradicate peer pressure from our consciousness? Or maybe the better question, if I could rephrase this, is what are some tangible habits or behaviors that we as a society can develop to, over time, progressively, eradicate or start the foundations to eliminate this kind of toxic peer pressure from our lives?
Wow. I would say it won't be possible to fully eradicate it, but a step towards it would be finding happiness within yourself. Because once you find happiness within yourself, you will tend to not chase happiness through the material things that other people have. It's like, oh man, Kev looks real happy in that Benz, man. I wonder if I get one, I might be happier.
That's a fact.
And you just start chasing these things because, once you get that big house, you get that big car, if you're depressed, you're going to be depressed in a big house and a big car.
Real,
you know what I'm saying? It's
that's
just
real.
like, this doesn't change anything. So everybody wants to be rich and they think that will solve all your problems. But the key is, money only solves money problems.
It's true.
After money problems, you got to deal with yourself.
It's true.
And, you see a lot of actresses, NBA players, whatever, people with money,
right,
with issues. They're upset, they're depressed, they're doing drugs because the money is not solving their problems. Man.
Yeah, no, it's a fact.
Yeah,
it's a fact. We talked about this earlier, right? I'm not gonna give full context to the situation because it's a private matter between you and I or whatever. But we were just talking earlier about booths and office spaces and
right,
moving around with them and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So very general example. Take a booth that's like, let's say $1,800 a month, and you're not scaling properly because you're not the certain amount you're making is going to you paying your bills for your booth or for your office space, your venue, right, and then the rest that you have is for resources to continue making that money
right,
through your business. But then you downgrade, let's say, to an $800, $900 spot. You don't need all the extra amenities it comes with, but you're making more money now. You're scaling, right?
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, let me bring let me bring Taquan over. Let me bring Tyrone. Let me bring James, and I'm gonna bring over Benjamin. I'm gonna bring over all those guys.
Yep.
Tyrone, Taquan, Benjamin, Jim, James, the whole nine. They come one time. Wow, man! Look at this nice booth you have here, man.
Yeah.
What, you've got a rooftop? Oh man, I love that, man.
Right.
Wow. Hey, Kev. We could probably throw a party up here, man.
Right.
I can see it right now. We got chicks on the left. We got the DJ right over here. I see the DJ going right there. Whatever.
Right.
Wow, man, that's pretty cool. You know what? Yeah. And it'll be the rebranding of your business, Kev. We'll blah, blah, this and that.
Right,
wow,
right.
that sounds like a really good idea, man. You know what? I think we should do this kind of party, man.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe you and I should, partner up on it and we do a joint venture. No. I'm just trying to give you the idea, brother.
Right.
I'm just trying to give you the idea. It's like, oh, brother, I thought you wanted to go half and half. I was trying to just give you the idea, brother.
Exactly.
Next thing you realize, it's like, he's coming back. They're all coming back. And they're hanging out in your space. You're not even getting work done because now they're leaving the hood and they're chilling at your spot where you should be. If you're in my spot, if you're in my booth, you are in my office space, and where I have a nice rooftop up top, whatever the case may be, and you're not punching any numbers or you're not doing anything to better and as well as bring in revenue for my business, you are a liability. Why are you here? Okay, I invited you one time. You know what? That's my mistake. Why are you here? Oh, I get it. You're just here to make it seem as if you're living life.
Yeah.
You have a lot of amenities you're getting out of this, actually.
Yeah.
You're away from your normal surroundings. You feel like you're actually somebody, and now with Kev up in the rooftop, we get ready to play at this party.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's so crazy, man. It's so crazy.
It's true, man.
Think about this stuff.
They call it the clout, right? Chasing the clout.
Right.
We're
actually going to talk about this on next episode too.
Yeah, man. I mean, think about it. I mean, people do things for the reactions of others. So yeah, he's in the rooftop. He's taking his pictures. He's waiting for all of the eye emojis to hit his DM.
Right.
Everybody, what are you up to? What are you up to? We working. Not
that we working. Dang, man. It's real.
I mean, like we always say, man. Social media is a facade, man.
Yeah.
You can't get lost in the sauce, man.
You can't.
You will go broke chasing this stuff, man. It's a trap.
No, it is, man. It totally is. All right, man. I think we could leave it here for today. Man, I know this episode's kind of short, but you know what? Let's leave them something to chew on, so that way they could be, longing for the next episode. Plus, we're going to continue this actually,
right? Okay,
and further expand on this next episode, I think. So, with that being said, bro, what is? I'll let you start off first today. What is your word to the wise today when it comes to, peer pressure, whether it be from your family, dealing with people in your childhood, your teenage years?
Right.
What would be your suggestion or advice to anyone dealing with peer pressure right now on any scale, at any level?
Well, yeah, I mean, just happiness, man. Once you find happiness within yourself, you won't succumb to the traps and pressure that people put on you because you're happy within yourself. You don't need material things or substances to make yourself happy. So the things that people throw your way, it really won't faze you. And I mean, it sounds easier said than done, but it does work over time. Just really being happy in yourself, and you don't really. I mean, once you find true happiness, you don't really need $400 shoes anymore, or a Mercedes, or an expensive car, because you're happy.
It's true.
You start to think of things like, if it works, it works. If these shoes work fine, why do I need a $500 pair? Or if my car runs fine, why do I need a $50,000 car? So
that's true.
I think it falls onto happiness. Yep.
No, I agree with you. You actually stole the one I was going to use. I was
going to
say that. No, it's fine though. I came up with one. Vision.
Right.
Vision. And the reason why I say that is because oftentimes a lot of people who get peer pressured into doing things, sometimes because they don't have no unique identity. They don't have vision, So vision, visualize what it is that you want for yourself. Have a vision of where you see yourself going in the future. I know that, it's easier said than done, obviously. But, just try to have patience to come up with a plan, formulate a game plan that allows you to have the utmost vision to go about having something to look forward to and execute it,
Right.
And if you have vision, man, think about it. You see all these people, flexing and buying, their Porsches and whatnot, We're actually going to talk about that next episode. Their Lambos and all this other stuff and whatnot. It's okay if you're riding in that, 2005 hoopty, man, just like me.
Exactly.
It's all right if your boy's riding a Hyundai Elantra 2005 silver. I'm totally fine with that. Because while I'm riding in my 2005 Hyundai Elantra silver and you are riding in your 2020 new Nissan Jetta, guess who is paying not just the car insurance, but they're also paying the rate of financing the car, the lease, or whatever it is that they got going on, and they might be paying a high car insurance at that, just because like the car is brand new, whatever, whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm okay with just paying my measly $230 a month for State Farm. All right, so I'm good with that because, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. So
Always.
with $230 a month, I can live off that. I can eat. I can do other things.
That's
and
right.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that because keep doing what you're doing. Live it up. Have a ball. In 30 years, I'll have that Porsche.
Exactly.
And it doesn't care if I'm 55 at that point. I'm going to enjoy it.
Absolutely.
So game plan, vision, I would say.
Absolutely. I mean, that's spot on, man. It's all about the sacrifice and being happy within oneself.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, man, if you weren't happy with yourself, you could go ahead and finance yourself a Mercedes and feel good for a little while.
That's a fact.
So it's just about that control over your wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And with that being said, I think we did a pretty good job. I think we can close this episode out, and then we'll flesh this new topic out next week's episode.
Sounds perfect.
So with that being said, ladies and gents, the Wise Guys Podcast, we are available on all streaming platforms, YouTube, Stitcher Radio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, all of them. And there are even some podcast catchers and streaming sites that I've never even heard of. And when I've just Googled the Wise Guys NYC, our podcast pops up. So
we're there.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, just Google us, the Wise Guys NYC, and then if you can't find us, just throw a little Mark and Kevin in there, and we'll pop up on all of them, guaranteed. So we appreciate you guys.
For sure, man. Definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. From what I understand, there's people all over the world listening.
Absolutely.
France, countries I've never been to. So that's a blessing.
It
man.
is a blessing.
Shout
man.
out to everybody.
Yes, shout out to all of you. And it's so funny that you mentioned France because I think she, greatly appreciate the shout out. Shout out to Venus from France, actually. Venus. Yes, Venus. She is I'm not even gonna say thorough, but she is a loyal, dedicated listener, man. She listens to the podcast every week, honestly, truly. And
really?
Yes, and she says she enjoys our content.
That's awesome, man.
And then she also said, real talk, she also says, Mark is a little mean, but I get it. I guess he has to be.
Yeah, you know what, Venus, it's true. I appreciate you for listening in, but man, sometimes you just gotta give it to him straight.
Yeah, you do.
Because I would like if someone did that for me.
That's a fact.
So
That's a fact.
That same voice that I give out, I also take it.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that. Thank you for recognizing that.
For sure.
It's just a different spin, man. I appreciate you, Venus. Shout out to France.
Yes.
She's holding it down for France.
100%. 100%.
Absolutely.
But she also said that we provided a good balance for each other, which is perfect.
That's wonderful.
So I think that's wonderful too. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, next week's episode 38. Oh man, actually the episode that I was talking to you about, I think it might pop up next episode or it might pop up the week after. I don't know. I got to kind of go into my stuff here. So we might either be talking about, materialism or we might be talking about politics. We'll see where it goes.
Sounds good to me.
But with that being said, you already know what it is. So, as I said at the beginning of the podcast, this is your boy, Kevin Anglad.
This is Mark Pruden.
And you have been tuning in to the Wise Guys Podcast. We'll see you all next week.
Stay wise.